Hi everybody, Germaine here. We're going to talk about books. Books. I love books. They're powerful, they inspire, they inform, they give us wings. So I'm going to share with you my all-time top 10-ish list of books that you should read. I'm going to start with the one and only. This is like the motivational Bible, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. Wow, this book changed my life. It made me start looking at business and entrepreneurship and pursuing goals and dreams in a completely different way. I've actually read it definitely three times, maybe four, definitely three times. And each time that I read it, depending on where I was along my timeline, along my journey, it almost seemed like it was a different book. So go out there, Think and Grow Rich. Over the years, I've actually stolen a lot of content from this book and shared it in my keynotes and my trainings and my coaching because it has so much value. Think and Grow Rich. Yeah, I steal some stuff from that. Stealing is okay, by the way. How do I know? Because this next book, written by Austin Kleon, says that you can. It says, steal like an artist. In a nutshell, it's about creativity and how to find ways to become more creative. And it's a very liberating book. It's a quick, easy read. Bam. Steal like an artist. Next, if you are all about finding your sense of purpose, if you haven't yet found your sense of purpose, and that can be just in life in general, or as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, in terms of leadership, you name it, across the board, this book is the book to read. Simon Sinek. Start with why. If you don't want to read the book, at least go on YouTube and Google, not Google, but do a search for Simon Sinek, Start with Why. He has this keynote, a TED Talk about what he calls the golden circle. He says that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do. What do you stand for? Why do you do what you do? Why do you get up in the morning and do what you do? The stronger your sense of purpose, the stronger the drive, the easier it becomes to pursue that goal because you are driven by something that is truly inside of you. It's everything about you. It's bigger than you, and you feel compelled to pursue it because it's your why. It's your reason for being, sense of purpose. And if you've experienced a lot of pain and you can turn your pain into purpose, you are empowered. Simon Sinek, Start with Why. This next one is also a little bit on the entrepreneurial side. It's all about change, a very simple read. Who Moved My Cheese? The late Spencer Johnson. He died like about 5 years ago, but a really simple read, but such a profound and powerful message. Who Moved My Cheese? I think you're going to love this one because I know that I did. I've also read this one a couple of times. The Four Agreements. Really, really powerful book. Relatively simple read, but such a profound takeaway. The one agreement that I need to work on more is do not assume. I assume a lot. Assume comes in two capacities. I can assume based on evidence, a series of behaviors, a pattern that I can assume that, well, if this happened 9 times, I can assume that it happened 10 times. But in general, I kind of assume prematurely, make decisions, snap judgments. And so, very powerful book. This next one is a journey of exploration, finding your goal, your dream, a very simple read. It's about a character called Santiago, who's a 12-year-old son of a shepherd. And not a son of a gun, not a son of a biatch, but a son of a shepherd. Paulo Coelho, The Alchemist. I think I've read this book 5, 6, maybe 7 times, and it's the same type of book. Every time I read it, I'm like, wow, I didn't pay attention to that. Was that in the book the first time I read it? It all depends where you are on your journey. Really, really inspiring read. Now, this next book. Can I get a drum roll, please, for this next book? This book it's a top-selling book. It's all about hope, resilience, defying the odds, the power of the human spirit. How do I know? Because it says so on the title. Resilience. It's by some guy called Germaine. I heard he's a pretty decent author, but it's about overcoming child abuse. It's about overcoming demons in order to pursue and live your dreams and your goals, because it's all about mindset. Resilience. Great read. It's been called a life changer. Again, Amazon bestseller, some guy called Germaine. All right, this next one, all about relationships. maybe more specifically romantic relationships. And this really helps people understand and establish strong, healthy relationships that are long lasting, because it's all about the 5 love languages. What does that mean? I'll give you a really quick example about the 5 love languages. If your love language is words of affirmation and your partner's love language is gifts, and they keep giving you gifts, and you're like, I don't feel loved. I don't want gifts. I don't like gifts. Make me feel good. Tell me that I'm great. Give me compliments, encourage me. And then so you don't feel loved. And meanwhile, your partner's thinking, but I buy him so many gifts and he doesn't appreciate it. He doesn't like it. And then there's this disconnect, and you can have 2 perfectly aligned people who love each other, but because of the disconnect in communication, the communication breakdown, they don't get along, they fight, relationship ends. Boo-hoo-hoo, very sad. So for you romantics out there, the 5 love languages. I probably should read that one again too. This next one, The Subtle Art of Not Giving Up. Pretty damn good book. This really reminded me and empowered me to not give a crap about what people think. And what does that do? When you stop caring about what people think about you, you're free, because you start living really authentically, and you can do basically, now this doesn't mean to not take into consideration about other people's feelings and things like that, but it's really about empowering yourself to live authentically, do what's right for you, and not be held back by trying to please other people. It also will help you set clear, defined, and very healthy boundaries. The subtle art of not giving a whatever. Second to last, because I'm definitely saving the best book to last. If you're into a form of consciousness, wellness, spirituality, Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. In a nutshell, it literally means that if you can truly live in the moment, you live in the absence of fear, of stress, because you are living in the moment, which means right now, in this very moment, I'm alive, I'm healthy, I'm not dead, I'm all these things. So if I maintain that mindset of being in the now, because usually we stress about what's happened in the future, or we cry about what happened in the past. So by living in the now, you defy both of those extremes. All right, here's the last one that I'm going to recommend. New York Times best-selling book. Must read for everybody. I'm about 3/4 of the way through. Such a powerful book. Really, you must go out and buy this book. It is, for me, the most significant and relevant book, not of the year, but of the last couple of years. And with everything that's going on, another reason why you should read it. White Fragility. It's written by some black dude called Robin DiAngelo. He's not a black dude. It's a white chick. This book written by a white chick called Robin DiAngelo. White Fragility. If you're a white person, a Caucasian, highly recommend it, because you can't know what you don't know. And so this book will give you insight as to things that maybe you hadn't considered, you hadn't thought about, you were unaware of, that maybe you denied. She expresses it beautifully, eloquently, and because it comes from the perspective of a white person, it might be easier for some of you white people to embrace. An example of you can't know what you don't know, and awareness can change everything. So really silly example, bear with me here, but if you're right-handed, have you ever taken the time to actually think what it must be like to be a left-handed person? Because until somebody made me aware of this, I would have never thought about it. There are so many inconveniences that left-handed people have that I've just taken for granted, because the world has been created, is designed for right-handed people. Simple things like when you were in school and you write with your right hand, which means you can see the letters, and as you write, they reveal themselves and you don't get ink on your hand. Imagine for a left-handed person how awkward it must be to write that way. Not to mention when you're at dinner, your elbow is, everybody's kind of using the knife this way, and yours doing the opposite. So little things like that. So anyway, this book will maybe help you understand the whole divisive era that we're in now with Black Lives Matter, and is there racism, is there systemic racism, and if there is, am I racist? And if I am, what do I need to do about it? And am I being aware and sensitive enough of inequality and all these things? Beautifully written. If you're a black person, you also need to read this book. Here's why. So throughout my life, I've experienced racism, and sometimes I've just kept quiet because I didn't want to ruffle feathers because I thought that I was crazy. I didn't want to play victim. I didn't want to play the race card. So I just kind of kept quiet. But I felt a lot of pain. And when I did express it, I grew up in a predominantly white environment. So people would tell me, oh, Vital, you're playing the race card. Hush up already. You're out of your mind. You're insane. Your perspective is warped, is biased. And I thought that I was going insane. And what this book will bring to you is a validation that you are not insane. There are endless ways in which we are reminded of being inferior. And so it's going to bring validation to like, oh my God, I've been thinking and feeling this my whole life. I'm not nuts. I'm not alone. Thank you. So a definite read. White Fragility. And very quickly, my white friends. White fragility, and when it comes to white privilege, nothing of that is an accusation, is a pointing a finger that you have life easy and that you don't have to work hard and that you've not earned and deserved your accolades and your achievements. That's not what it means. If you really want to understand what it means, read the book. White Fragility, some white chick called Robin DiAngelo. And there you have it. That is my top 10 list of books. Books are powerful. They give us insight. They give us information, knowledge, wisdom, and they can inspire us so that we are empowered to reach higher. Because that's what I'm all about. Inspiring people to reach higher and live a richer, happier, wealthier life.